as the new pitcher for Indiana State looks like it's going to be Grauer, as he's gone 27 in the third innings, a 2.2 record, 6.26 ERA, and I love that strikeout to walk ratio. 28 strikeouts to 5 walks, so it appears Grauer does pound the strike zone, and he's not going to give you any freebies, and he's got a good chance of not letting the ball go into play. And this is a good kind of summertime baseball day. You look at a lot of the Indiana State folks there as we pass down the line, and it's nice to see that the COVID restrictions are relaxed at least a little bit to where we can certainly get people in the ballpark. Still some restrictions, and I look forward to us next year, Alex, being able to get back inside the stadium and getting things back to normal.
So Sherry will be the batter here at first and second. Nobody out on Grauer. Grauer, scouting report on him, about 87 to 90 with the fastball. Works in a curveball as well and a change. Likes to throw the change to right-handed hitters. And the curveball, of course, to lefties. But he's a guy who, this is his first relief appearance because he's been a starter. His first relief appearance since March 21st against UAB. He started against Illinois State, Valparaiso, Missouri State, and Southern Illinois. And he'd also like to forget about the last start against Southern Illinois, where he threw only 1 inning, 5 runs, 6 hits. But he was really good against Valparaiso and Missouri State. Against Valpo on April 18th, 5 innings, 1 run, just 3 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. And Missouri State, 5 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. So he's got good stuff, but not used to coming out of the pen.
Alex, don't you think, though, in this game, and these guys follow the books on that, but we may see some odd things in the last 3 or 4 innings today.
And by the way, I say not used to coming out of the pen, but as of late, I mean, he's been a staple of their pen in his career. He had 9 saves back in 2019 with a 1.91 ERA. And that's a wicked changeup.
That it is.
Grauer's a guy who had a save in the MVC championship game against Dallas Baptist in the first championship game. Then they forced a second one back in 2019, and Indiana State clobbered DBU to get the MVC automatic bid. And that was a similar situation, Walt, to this year, where they were hovering around that 35 to 40 range. They were nervous, are we going to get an at-large? But guess what? When you win the tournament, it doesn't matter.
That kind of makes it, as they say in the legal profession, a moot point.
Exactly.
That's going to be a great tournament coming up next week.
But 48 strikeouts, only 8 walks in 2019 for Grauer.
Now you can see from him pitching to Sherry here that he's got an excellent control of the strike zone. And Sherry, who's been, a blaze of fire as far as his hitting, there's been absolutely nothing there that Simon could do anything with.
So the Purple Aces retook the lead. They led it 8-0. They allowed 8 unanswered to Indiana State. Now have scored 1 here in the 5th. 9-8, first and second, nobody out. This one's popped up. Right, going to give it a look, but it's out of play.
You see, there's not a great deal of foul territory here at German American Bank Field.
So Tyler Grauer, this is going to be the last regular season appearance for him. He will graduate after this year. Obviously may get an opportunity to pitch at Itchy Jones in Carbondale next week, but trying to soak this one in and get Indiana State out of this jam. This is bounced up the middle. Tough play, Urdaneta steps on the back, throw to first in time.
Wow.
Oh, what a play by Urdaneta. That was not an easy one. And Indiana State's defense has woken up here late in this game.
That's a web jam.
Just to field the short hop, then step on the bag, have the control, and that's not easy. Your body, the momentum going in towards the third base side.
Going the other way, that's a hard throw to make. Yeah, young man, you should feel pretty good after making that play.
So Grauer comes in and he gets the big ground ball out. Now he's trying to get Brent Witter out and hold Evansville to just one run here in the fifth.
You know, that's a play you may look at when this game is done. If Indiana State figures out a way how to win this game, you may look back at that play being really, really big. But a great opportunity here for Witter.
That pitch just missed the inside part of the plate. As a former pitcher, I want that called.
That, you know, and that's tough. Good eye there by Witter. That was a tough one to lay off of. But a big at bat here for the second baseman.
Changeup gets away to the backstop. It's a wild pitch and a big one. That allows Schallenberger to score. And now that gives Evansville a 2-run advantage here in the fifth. The backstops for both teams have been so good at blocking the baseball. That one bounced well in front of the plate on the changeup that slipped from Grauer.
I feel sorry for our technical guys as you see the run that's going to be coming across for Evansville. How in the world do you put a highlight tape together from everything you and I have seen since this game started about 2 hours and 3 minutes ago?
This whole series has been so wild. We saw a guy get taken out the other day after review who had to come back in. That was Zach Fry. We saw a broken bat. I mean, we've seen so much in this series, jam-packed into 4 games. We're only in the fifth. It's Brent Witter over to Urdaneta, diving play, and he makes another one. Evansville strikes for 2, but this was the inning for Urdaneta over at second base. Josue dialed in defensively, turned a wicked double play, then dives to his knees, able to stop it, and throws over to Fuentes at first, but Evansville reclaims the lead. They lead at 10-8 as we head to the 6th. Fasten your seatbelts, hang in. We're tied at 10 in the bottom of the 6th in Evansville.
Disney World, they would call this an e-ticket ride today. There's had more changes and ups and downs. You know, with the Sycamores tying it up, you wonder how the Aces are going to react now. This is good. This is good stuff, my friend.
Purple Aces have the part of the order that they want up here with Bilesmith, Craig, and Roberts due up, facing Grauer. I mean, it's just been a heavyweight boxing match.
It's fun. It's fun.
I'll tell you what, no matter who wins this game, both offenses, they're ready to go for Carbondale next week. Bilesmith got jammed. One of the infielders is going to call it. It'll be the shortstop in Schaefer for the first out of the inning and a big out here to start the 6th.
Getting Bilesmith out if you're Indiana State is extremely important. Another big batter coming up here is preseason All-American Tanner Craig's got a lot of power and the ability to give the Aces the lead with one swing of the bat.
So Grauer, who had a 2.54 ERA in 74 and a third innings from 2018 to 2020. It's been a staple of this Indiana State program. And I know he's struggled this season, has not been the redshirt senior year that the Shawnee, Kansas native has wanted. But pitching in some of his final games, trying to soak it all in, but also trying to keep Indiana State's at-large hopes alive. Of all the games that Grauer's pitched in, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, he got a save against DBU in the championship game to force a second one. They went on to win the Missouri Valley Tournament in 2019. He also got a save against McNeese State in the regional.
You can see he's a big fella, 6'5", 220. And that's certainly a positive right there, and he uses it certainly to his advantage.
Tanner Craig smashes one to left. This is way back, but it is caught up against the wall by Beck for the second out of the inning.
So close.
That was one of the hardest hit balls of the series. But Beck was able to make the play.
Alex, look how deep they're playing Tanner there. If Beck is playing any deeper, he's on the other side of the fence.
I was going to say, he might be on the Lloyd.
Yeah. You don't want to be on the Lloyd this time of day, no.
You got to dodge traffic to make a play. They were not allowing Tanner Craig. Anything that was hit over an outfielder's head there was a homer. But I was mentioning with Grauer, there's a man you want on the bump in this situation. Take away some of the numbers from this year for a second. This guy has been on the mound in big situations in his career.
And it appears he kind of likes having the ball in these situations. That's one of those things, you either got it or you don't have it. And wanting the ball in any sport with the game on the line. This would be another big inning for Indiana State to get that shutdown inning you were talking about, too.
Grauer's a strike away from that against the lefty and Roberts. See if he wants to go back to that slider. Instead goes fastball, misses low. It's 2-2. Now he goes to the slider, just misses up. So the count has gone full on Roberts. He's trying to spark a little two-out rally here in the bottom of the sixth.
Boy, he changes speeds very, very well. Doesn't have a thunderbolt in that iron, but I tell you, he is able to keep you off balance.
Dots the outside corner. Roberts thought it was ball 4. Instead, it's strike 3. And that will end the inning. This was like a Picasso painting on the outside part of the plate. A perfect pitch from Grauer.
We finally found our...
A Sycamore later on and vice versa.
One thing that's unanimous is the fact that they're Valley baseball fans, Missouri Valley Conference.
Boy, what a great year it's been for the Missouri Valley Conference in every single sport, but now capping it off with baseball. The Valley saw 2 softball teams get in SIU and Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa had a big-time win against their rival in Iowa State yesterday, 8-0 in the first game of a regional, as Kenton Cruz flies out to right on the first pitch he sees from Grauer.
Looks like the balls are carrying pretty well today. You get into really warm days like today, balls have a tendency to go a little bit better. And that wasn't far away from getting out of the park. But we're getting close to getting down the home stretch in this one.
Danny Borgstrom here, who's had a good series. A couple of bombs for him. We've seen a lot of homers especially since the weather has started to heat up. That's the difference here at Jordan American Bank Field. When it's kind of cold, it's windy, the wind blows in. It's very much a pitcher-friendly ballpark. But in late May, it's always been this way. When things start to heat up, the wind kind of changes direction a little bit and howls out.
Yeah, that was an excellent pitch there. Grauer is, I think, looks like starting to feel command here.
Really good curveball that time. Your Borgstrom. Good luck with that pitch.
That's a knee bender. Even when Grauer's missing, he's not missing by much.
He's looked really good. Danny Borgstrom, the sophomore to Morris, Illinois. Dealt with a little bit of injuries last season, but had a really good batting average of .313, OPS at .960. He's had another good year. He's been in and out of the lineup. Another turf ball, but it's going to be played by Fuentes. Again, not an easy play.
Fuentes made that look easy, though, didn't he?
Just really impressed with the way that Indiana State has composed themselves. They really struggled in the first couple of innings, and they've struggled defensively in this series, but they've settled in.
Well, they became Indiana State. Over the course of the year, they've been great defensively, and it was just a matter of them reverting back to them doing what they do. Taking a deep breath, not trying to get outside of yourself. The importance of this game has to put you a little bit on edge. And I'm sure that Coach Hanna has a lot of the same technology available that we do, and I'm sure that the Indiana State bench knows Bradley's won today. I mean, wouldn't you say that's probably the fact? I mean, I think the chances of them knowing are probably pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure they do know. Now it's one of those situations where the coaching staff may know. Do they let the players know that? Probably not, realistically.
Okay.
Just because Indiana State is still trying to win this game for that at-large potential. And also don't forget that for Indiana State, coming into today, if they just won and took care of business, they're automatically the 2 seed, right? So why put any more added pressure on your ball club by telling them, hey, just to let you know, by the way, Bradley won?
If you are coaching at the major Division I level, you got to be a little bit of a psychologist too.
Absolutely. You got to know too what guys can handle that information and be like, okay, so what? Who cares? I'm going to play my game, and what guys are going to put extra pressure on themselves.
Everybody's different. One of the great things about college sports.
Interesting sequence here is Max right behind the plate went shake, and then he called for the breaking pitch, trying to get Schallenberger off balance there. So that's one of those situations, Walt, where with 2 strikes, especially nobody on second base, you have the freedom to give the signs that you want. Max Wright gives kind of a wiggle, which means, he's kind of shaking his hand, which he's trying to tell the pitcher, hey, shake off here. We're kind of trying to deke. It's a game of strategy. Yeah. Talk about the psychology of it.
Oh.
He's playing the strategy game there of maybe making Schallenberger overthink a little bit, and then they go to that breaking ball.
Yeah, one of my cliches. They're not playing checkers. They're playing chess today.
And now he throws the same pitch. Wow. I think he might have went shake again. He strikes out Schallenberger, and Grauer has looked really, really good. Good luck on that bender. We're heading to the 8th, tied up at 10.
Run.
Runs, runs, and more runs. That's what we've seen here in the finale of this series, in the finale of the Missouri Valley Conference regular season. Alex Gould, Walt Ferber, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been one of those ones where it's like we've had a season being played in one game this afternoon. But you know, the way this game has gone, would not be shocked to see the Aces bounce back now. As
this is going to be a pinch hitter, Mason Brinkley of Atoka, Oklahoma. He's going to flip around and bat on the right side. We've seen him bat from the left. He's a switch hitter to face Grauer, who has been so effective out of the pen for Indiana State. Brinkley takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-1. This is one thing I want to mention, too. For Indiana State, of course, 12 runs. Offense has picked up the defensive woes and the pitching staff. But Tyler Grauer is arguably an MVP in this game as of right now for just keeping the Purple Aces at bay, keeping the score where it is. Brinkley pokes one out to right. Indiana State is, well, 5 outs away after Ross almost lost it in the sun and now is asking for the shades from Gurgley. Good idea.
Yeah. You know, and that's got to be bad when you look up there and you have no idea where it was at. But the right fielder there did an excellent job of finding it, maintaining himself, and getting the out.
Top of the order for Evansville. Simon Sherry, Brent Witter on deck.
Yeah, we've said many times he doesn't seem like a freshman. And I guess as many games as he's played this year, he's really not in a lot of ways now. Has brought that average to 300 today.
Grauer has 19 career saves at Indiana State. As I mentioned earlier, he's pitched in so many big games.
He looks comfortable out there. I mean, you can just tell the way he looks that there's nothing intimidating about this day at all to Grauer.
Nothing new for number 37 on the mound. In a year in which, he's going to tell you he's struggled a little bit. Moved him out of the bullpen into the starting rotation, but the changeup today has been as wicked as ever in his career.
Hey, if you're going to get it together, this is a pretty good time to do it. Fighting for that 2 seed this afternoon. And with the tournament coming up next week and a whole lot of people that decide who's going to get the at-large bids looking on this afternoon.
Grauer, who's third on the all-time saves list, came into this year with 17. He has a couple this year, but he has 19. He's one away from tying Austin Conway for second on the all-time saves list at Indiana State. Of course, not going to get a save today.
He's not allowed a hit yet today.
Sherry pops it up. Wright gives it a look, but it's out of play. But talk about a bounce-back outing for the redshirt senior out of Shawnee, Kansas. I mean, he only lasted 1 inning against SIU. He allowed 5 runs. But that's why baseball is such a unique sport where you can throw that behind you and say, hey, I'm going to be called upon in a big spot here against Evansville, and I'm going to deliver.
If you're a pitcher, especially if you're going to be coming in relief, you have to have a short memory. And really thick skin.
Change up called strike 3. Sherry didn't agree, but it's called strike 3 by Winningham, and now Indiana State and Tyler Grauer, they're 4 outs away from the comeback.
That's a nice pitch. But he came in, Grauer came in and took command of this thing right away. The Aces have not been able to do anything against him whatsoever.
Brent Witter 1 for 3 with a walk today. Trying to get the tying run to the plate here with 2 outs in the 8th. And you can hear it here. Indiana State's dugout and their fans over the third base dugout, they've been loud. But the Purple Aces, ever since really the game got tied at 8,
they've been quiet.
It took the wind out of the sails a little bit. But no doubt, if they can come back and tie this game or win it, they'll roar back up here on Senior Day.
Well, this has been a fun crowd today. Both these fan bases have been into it, and that's usually the case when Evansville and Indiana State get together. Not that far away. It's about a 2-hour drive between the two campuses. And a lot of these guys are Indiana guys, and they know one another.
Change up again. That pitch is so nasty today from number 37. That is just so tough to hit, especially if you're a right-handed hitter. Thing fades away, it dies, it looks like a fastball out of the hand. And now Grauer on pitch number 45 is 1 strike away from the Indiana State Sycamores being 3 outs away from winning this game. As the change-up, this one is hit out to left. This is way back there. It is off the wall as Beck crashed into the wall, and Witter is going to stop at second, and that will bring the tying run to the plate in Bilesmith on Senior Day to face another senior in Grauer.
Don't know of anybody else, if you're Evansville, that you would want to have up there. As Witter, I thought for a second, the way the ball's been carrying today, that may have enough to get out. But instead it bounces about halfway up the side. And we're not done yet.
That was almost Witter's second home run of the series. And now Troy Bilesmith, who had hit number 200 earlier in his career. One of 27 guys who have done it in a Purple Aces uniform.
Got that 200th hit in the second inning today.
And now Wright's going to go out to talk to Grauer. Likely just talking about how to approach this at-bat with Bilesmith.
I would not be surprised with everything we have seen today. Back and forth. On top of everything else, we don't have a little free baseball when we're done.
We had free baseball in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday. Went 8 innings. It was supposed to be a 7-inning game. Purple Aces walked it off on the infield single from Kenton Cruz with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. He beat out a routine ground ball to third. Troy Bilesmith, who's delivered so much in his career, pops this one up. Foul territory, right in Rivera over there, but it's into the stands at strike 1.
Well, if you're Bilesmith, you love to hear that clink of that ball hitting the aluminum in the stands, meaning you live to face another pitch here.
You just wonder if the Purple Aces hitters are almost guessing changeup at this point. That's what Grauer's been throwing. About 60% of the time, especially to righties.
Now that's the name of the game. You're a pitcher there. You know, the more tools you have in the toolbox, and the more off balance you can keep the batter, the better off you're going to be.
Troy, who's going to be a field engineer now that he's graduated. Obviously not thinking about that right now, but big plans for the future. But right now it's Bilesmith and Grauer, and it's a swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Both these teams, you got to have some gray cells to play baseball at this level. And Evansville and Indiana State both have programs that you got to be smart to go to those institutions.
2 good schools, 2 good people facing off here. In Grauer, who's been so electric out of the pen in his career. Troy Bilesmith has come through time and time again. 1-2 is caught at third by Cusimano. Bilesmith ripped it over to third, but perfectly placed was number 8. And now Indiana State looking for some insurance as we head to the 9th.
One for me.
Evansville needs 3, Walt Ferber, or Indiana State, after being down 8-0, will win this game and really keep their at-large hopes alive in one of the biggest ways, one of the biggest comebacks in school history.
You know what? With everything we've seen in the last 3 hours and 20 minutes, you and I have been sitting perfectly socially distanced here at the Braun. Nothing would surprise me right now. Aces up 8-0. Sycamores come back. Aces go back out on top. Sycamores come back. Sycamores take the lead. Would you be shocked by anything in the bottom half of the ninth here? I mean,
no, but the way that Grauer has pitched, I would be surprised if the Purple Aces strike for 3 here. Just the way that he's been dialed in on the mound.
He's been good. What's he allowed? 1 hit? He's been pretty unstoppable.
Tanner Craig pops it up. First pitch, foul territory, right with the mask in hand. Now going to throw the mask and is going to make the play.
That's
Indiana
big.
State 2 outs away from completing the comeback and evening the series and being the 2 seed and keeping their at-large hopes alive. It's amazing to say out loud when you think about it.
You could see heading to the base, back to the dugout, Tanner Craig's utter frustration there. In his last game played at the Braun, what a career he has had. But it's crunch time now.
This is a pinch hitter here for Evansville. This is going to be Adam Eiler here pinch hitting. For Eiler, 0 for 1 on Thursday. He was 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter against Valpo. It's behind the count 0-1.
Aces didn't have to go far for him. He had a great career at Wrights High School. There's a lot of good high school baseball in the city of Evansville.
Southern Illinois just tied the game against DBU in the bottom of the 8th, 3-3. So they're likely going to be the last game of the regular season still going. As Eiler smashes one into center. All this guy does when he comes up to pinch hit is rip singles into the outfield.
You need base runners right now. And the Aces have one. And Grauer's been pretty stingy with allowing people to be on base in his time of the ball game today.
Well, here's a man in Kenton Cruz, battled injuries his whole career. He's had a really good one, and this could be it for Grauer. Grauer, I think, a little bit surprised that he's getting pulled here after just allowing his second hit out of the pen.
Well, the story continues.
He gets a big roar from the Indiana State crowd that's traveled, as well as his dugout. Tyler Grauer, in his final outing of the regular season in his career, was nothing short of brilliant.
Yeah, he allowed his Sycamore team a chance to come back and take the lead by shutting down the Aces. And there hasn't been a whole lot of shutdown by anybody in this game, but Grauer has certainly done it.
Grauer, 4 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He's in line for the win. The guy who's been so dominant for Indiana State out of the pen this year